welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's a beautiful day today. As we wait for the speech of the president, there's a topic that I want us to think deeply about and to just see if it's possible. If you don't see it being possible, then it's fine. But for others, I know it can be possible. Listen, there's a story from the Bible, the story between Jonathan and David. In that story, there's a beautiful type of friendship that is being depicted in that story, and I think I love it. It just got up my attention like these few past days, and I was like, you know what, we need to discuss this. Jonathan in those days was a son of Saul, the previous king of Israel. And then we all know the story of those that are Christian and those that follow the Bible. We all know the story that King Saul did something that was evil before God, and God rejected him, and then God wanted a new king for Israel. And then that new king was going to be David, of which David was not in the lineage of Saul. The person that was supposed to be a king after Saul was going to be the son, who was Jonathan. But then now we see something interesting in this story, that Jonathan and David were good friends. And the Bible portrays their friendship very well, that they even made a pact or an oath that you cover my back, I cover yours. They reaffirmed the oath and whatnot and whatnot. Those that follow the and read the Bible, they know the story. So now what interests me in this kind of friendship is that first of all, Jonathan knew that if his father dies or his father gets old or whatnot, he will be the one that will take the throne. But then he also knew this story that God had chosen David to become the new king of Israel. And then he, instead of fighting that together with his son, with his father, he decided to support his friend David in achieving this goal, in achieving this dream. Yeah, I will just put it as a dream, or as a goal, or as a certain potential that was in David to lead Israel, which was the chosen nation by God. And then now, my interest is that why would Jonathan want to support his friend so much, regardless of what will happen to him? Because he was supposed to be the next king according to the royal lineage that we know, the ways that they do things in royalty and whatnot. But it was strange in this case, because of this kind of friendship. He decided that, you know what, I will push you to that throne, and then you cover my back, I cover yours. And then now I discovered that, you know what, this was beautiful. And honestly, David became a king. He would Jonathan would tell David the kind of evil plans that his father has against David. When the father plots to kill David, Jonathan would tell David to hide. Jonathan would tell David that, you know what, my dad is planning this and this to harm you, to kill you, to whatnot. So in other words, Jonathan protected David up to no decimal point. And then when we summarize the story, up to a stage whereby honestly David became a king of Israel. He took the throne as God had promised, as God wanted, and whatnot and wanted and whatnot, up until Jonathan even died without even benefiting personally from this kind of friendship. But we see now, when David is already a king, his son Mephibosheth benefiting Jonathan. Mephibosheth was Jonathan's son, who was crippled and whatnot. So now we see him benefiting from the friendship, when David says anyone from the house of Saul should be called, so that him, as David, can show mercy to him for the sake of Jonathan, his friend. He remembered his friend and whatnot and whatnot. So now, okay, we're back again. We're distracted a bit. All right. So now my concern is that these days, do we still have that kind of friendship? Do we still have those kinds of people who will support you no matter what? A friend that will say, you know what, friend, let's push you first and then you'll come back for me. A friend that will say, Masqale ngawe, let's start with you and then we can come back to me. That sounds like so selfless. Do we still have selfless friends? Friends that will die for you, literally. Friends that will say, you know what, I see that whatever it is that is in you is bigger. I see that it's even besides the size, but I see its urgency. It's urgent. It needs to manifest first. I know that I also have to come up. I know that I also have to reach my goals and whatnot, but I want us to start with you. Do you understand? So I'm thinking, do we still have such people? And when we look around, when we check, it's very few stories that are like that in reality, like in our days and whatnot and whatnot. And from the interviews that I've conducted, some people realize that, you know what, these friendships no longer exist because of different reasons. There are reasons that caused people to stop trusting friends that much. There are reasons that cause people to stop laying their lives down for a friend. People are disappointed out there. People are hurt. People have been hurt so much in the past that, you know what, they became selfish. They became self-centered. That, you know what, I will start with me. I will never ever again start with a human being. And people, there's just no one that is willing to support a friend that much. Okay, so this other day I was listening to a radio. I was sharing this story to one of my people that I was interviewing, that I was listening to a radio one day, and then I heard a story of this lady. It was a ladies' show on Thursday. And then I heard, oh my word, a certain lady called in and then said that she needed prayers and whatnot because she is stranded, she's depressed, she has no hope in life. And she's actually suffering. She is poor up to like no decimal point. And then she began to be emotional as she was busy telling the story and started crying and whatnot and whatnot. And then her story went like, okay, they are a family of, I don't know if it was 5 or 4 children, but then the parents died. The parents died and she was the eldest in the family. And then, so they struggled after the parents died. They struggled and up to a stage whereby she decided to leave school so as to take care of her siblings. She decided to leave school and so that she can go and hustle. She started selling things. She started asking for odd jobs like doing people's laundries and whatnot, so as to make ends meet for the siblings. She basically became a mother as a child as she was, and then she wanted her siblings to continue with school. She wanted her siblings to have something to eat and whatnot. And then now she told the story that her siblings are now educated. One of them is a doctor, one of them is a lawyer, one of them, I can't remember what the other one was doing, but they were all educated because of her hustle, because of her hard work, and because of her sacrifices. And then now a weird story is that a weird part of the story is that as prosperous as her siblings are, they forgot all about her. They even she felt like they forgot that she even existed. They don't know what she eats. She stays in the village because she's uneducated. She couldn't continue with school, and I got this part from the story that she thought that if she pushes the siblings would come back for her after they are okay with life, after they settled and whatnot, but they never did. They went on with their lives. They are settled with their own families. They do not even go back home where they come from. The lady is struggling. She sleeps without food. She's sick. She's all that. And then she was calling in the radio and asking for prayers and whatnot. And then that was such a sad story. Like, it was so sad. I was sad myself. But then, as I was analyzing this story and mixing it with this conviction that I have, that these kinds of friendship or relationships that are Jonathan kind of are lacking in our days, I thought to myself that it's because of such stories. Because this lady acted like Jonathan. She was a child herself. Do you understand? She was also a child. She also wanted a lot from life. She wanted to become all those things that the others are now. But then, because of this kind of mentality that, you know what, I must be a Jonathan now. I must be the older one. I must push my siblings. I must make sure that they reach their destinies. And then hoping that they will cover my back. This is what troubles a lot of people out there. This lady that was calling in the radio is not the only one that is hurt from this kind of friendship or this kind of relationship. So, because it happens to families, it happens to friends, it happens to colleagues. Some colleagues have this mentality of Jonathan. Like, they like, okay, let's push you. You climb the ladder. You climb the corporate ladder. We push you. We support you, and then come back for us. Come back for us. But people don't come back. That's what I realized. So now that's why I asked. I even on Facebook, I asked, can we still have this kind of friendship, or do we still have? And then the answer that I'm getting is that it's rare. We still do have, but it's rare these days because of sad stories like the one that I just told right now. That people are hurt. People, they just don't want anything to do with this, because if you support someone these days, they will not come back for you. They will be like, there's something that we say in Xhosa, one neda, one weza. It's one neda, one weza kind of situations now that we face. So now people are like, never. Okay, that's the first group. And other people are like, okay, I see the potential. This friend has a lot of potential. He has a big potential. And or this sibling or this boss or this whatnot. But then, if this potential is seen, if we give this potential a chance, I will not be anywhere to be found. I will not have I will not have a chance myself. I will not have a chance. I will not be seen. So now, we'd rather let me push myself and try to push this one down. Do you understand? Because if I try to push this one, then what about me? What about my potential? What about my dream? What about my vision? That's what the other group feels like. And they're like, no, let's press you down. You cannot. You can't do that to me. Let me shine first. And then, okay, I can come back for you. But they don't even consider the matter of urgency. Okay? And then that's another group. Then another group feels like, you know what? What about my family? They're not selfish. They're not jealous of you. They're not blind. They're not ignorant. But they feel like, I won't be doing justice to my children if I'm gonna be busy pushing this friend. If I'm gonna be busy pushing, I see that you have potential. I see you have that and that. But I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 now to take care of. Do you understand? Like, for example, if your leader has so much potential that they can even become like a president or all those big things that you can see, like even in the church, that you see your pastor can even become like a pastor of a mega church, like Jonathan, that, okay, I cover your back, you cover mine. And I am sure that Jonathan had he wasn't really focused on that, because if he was focused on that, on the fact that what are you gonna do for me in return, what am I gonna get, he wasn't gonna help David that much, because he was gonna want to see his part, David's part being done while he was still alive. Do you understand? He was gonna be like, I've been offering you protection, I've been offering you this and that, but I've not seen you doing one thing for me. Do you understand? But then now Jonathan died without seeing one thing being done by David for him. But he still protected him, he still covered him, he still did this and that. And then the people that benefited were the offsprings of, in fact, was the child of Jonathan. Do you understand? So now if we can have that mentality that, you know what, even if I cannot like benefit while I'm still alive, maybe my children can benefit. And there's a Bible verse that says, do everything that you do as unto the Lord. If you would have that mentality that you're not doing it really to this person per se, even though you love this person and you see this potential and whatnot, you're not only doing it to them, but you are doing it to God as well. So now when you have that mentality that you are also doing it to God, then in that case you will have faith. You will not mind what you see right now, but you will know that God is not an unjust God. You will benefit from God one way or the other. It could be you now, or it could even be your children. Do you understand? Because it's what David even says when he's remembering Jonathan, when he's already a king. He's saying, is there anyone left in the house of Saul that I can show God's mercy to them because of Jonathan? Do you understand? So God's mercy will be shown to you one way or the other. If this person forgets, like the story that I told of these children that are now professionals, that are now doctors and whatnot, they forget about the sister. If something like that happens to you and you have helped and you have pushed someone, you can still benefit from the mercy of God. You can still benefit. God is not an unjust God. If you trust God, and if you told yourself that as you are doing this thing, you are not just doing it to this person, but you're also doing it to God, then you will see God's mercy manifesting in your life. And also lastly, I just wanted to highlight this, that when you do it, you must also be wise about it. You must not be naive about it. Do you understand? You must not, like if I can talk about the story that I narrated first, the radio lady. Personally, I think that lady shouldn't have dropped out of school. She should have made those sacrifices, like coming back from school, going to the streets, selling things, selling stuff in school, sacrificing all the other parts of life except school, if I may say. Or else she totally forgot about herself, if I may put it that way. She became, I don't want to say naive, because she was doing it out of a good heart, but to think that a human being can do exactly what you are thinking in your mind. Like, you know what, okay, if I do this to my little brother, I know we are blood siblings. He will never forget me. He will never, that's all in your mind. It's not in this person's mind. You can't put it in their minds that remember me when you are there. You can't. It's all up to them how they will react when they are up there. Do you understand? So now, do not totally forget yourself when you support someone, when you push someone. Do not, like, you can make sacrifices, but do not be ignorant about it. Do not forget about yourself. Have some, if you leave school, but you must have a way that you can survive. You understand? Even if you're not gonna climb up there and be all those things that they already are now, but you must have a plan. You understand? If I'm dropping out of school to help my siblings, but I know I also have a plan of trying to push things for myself so that they can come back and help me push this thing even if they do not come back, I will still survive. Do you understand? So now I would say that a lot of people are hurt because they go all out and even forget about themselves, or even they become, I don't know if I can say fixated, or too much sold out to the idea that this person will come back for them. And people are not you can't remote control people. They're not robots. You can't say, because I did this, I know you are gonna, even if they're going to come back, let's say they are good people, they come back, they can't come back the way you want them. Do you understand? Like, they can't come back and give you millions. They can say, oh, I remember mtaka mama, like bamba ukuthengela wardrobe nebit. Do you understand? That's remembering. But so you should also have a plan. I don't want you to go and do things without having a plan in hand. You must have a plan, and you must know that whatever it is that you are doing, you are not doing it to this person only, but you are also doing it to the Lord. That's it's a broad topic. It's an interesting topic, and I'm just thinking to myself, if we can apply a few measures, if we can apply wisdom along with it, we can still have this kind of friendship. We can still, even if it's a few. Like I know stories whereby there were two pastors, and then this one said, okay, well, as we start the church, let me be the son and you be the big one. Let's push you so that when you are up there, and then you can come back for me. And then there are successful bishops today. They are leading the church. It's a massive it's a mega church. It's beautiful. We are all following those people, and it's a beautiful story. The other one is a son, but they are all big now. They are up there and whatnot. The other one is still submitting to the other one, and you can't even feel that there's one that is being prejudiced or what. So now, if you're doing it wisely, if you're doing it with wisdom, it can always succeed. But if you lack wisdom in doing it, you're gonna be hurt, and there's gonna be very bad consequences. So I'm saying we must do it in a way that pleases God, and in a way that has wisdom, and we will be successful. We can notice if there is a potential in a friend, and know that, you know what, I'm not doing it to this person. If you are pushing this person, you're not doing it directly to them, but you are doing it to God. You want God's glory to be seen through your assistance. Do you understand? And then now we can limit the number of depression people that have depression, people that have rejection problems, people that are hurt, people that feel that, you know what, I will never ever support anyone else again in my life. So we can limit that kind of thing by applying wisdom. Thank you.